Wisconsin. My name is Camilla Augustus, and welcome back. Thank you all so much for tuning in for today's interview. Joining us is Miss Leigh Huff to give us the inside scoop of her life. Enjoy! Hi, Miss Huff.
Hi.
How are you?
Really good. Good to see you this afternoon.
It's good to see you too. Thank you for coming on.
Welcome.
So just jumping right into the interview, can you tell me a little bit about yourself outside of school?
Well, first of all, I've worked at Oak Mountain High School for, I think this is my 21st year. I may be into my 22nd year. I have two grown children, one of which has two of my grandbabies. They live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then my son lives in Denver, Colorado. So I'm an empty nester with my husband, Jeff, and let's see, what do I like to do for fun? Over COVID, I have learned how to bake sourdough bread. So if you've never done sourdough bread, it is like a 2-day process. I mean, like you feel like you're strapped to the kitchen for 2 days, but it's super fun. I do love to bake. I love to read. And about a year and 3 months ago, my husband and I brought a new member into our family, which is our puppy, Poppy. Her name is Poppy. And she was bought specifically to be trained as a therapy dog. And so she's been training all along. She really can't go out into the field or be tested to be a therapy dog until she's 18 months old. So we're getting close. And I have to say, she has a long way to go because she still acts like a puppy. And I mean, she just gets very excited when she's around anybody, dog or, human. So, yep, she's got a little work to do, but I'm super excited about that because I really want, like in my next career, for Poppy and I to be a therapy team and be able to go to nursing homes and schools and hospitals and just make people happy.
Wow, that's really cool. Is there a specific program that you guys are going to be working with, or are you just going to be a two-person band? I was going to say one-man band, but it's going to be you and Poppy, so.
It's Poppy and I, and we're going to go through the nonprofit called Hand in Paw. They're local, and they will be the ones that will actually test her. She'll go through like I don't know how rigorous it is, but she will go through a testing process, and as soon as she passes all the things that she has to pass, we will get to be a therapy team, and they will assign us places to go.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So earlier you said that you loved reading. What's your favorite book so far?
Like of all time?
Yes.
Well, To Kill a Mockingbird is my favorite book of all time. Number one, it's intriguing to me because it's, Alabama, based. I mean, the story happens in Alabama. And number two, I find the author fascinating. It was her one and only book. And she never wrote another one. And I don't know. I love the book. I love the characters, and I think it just has a powerful message to tell.
How often do you read books? Like, say maybe per month or year?
Month. I'm not a fast reader.
There's Poppy.
I'm not a fast reader, so I'm gonna say, if I'm lucky, I can read 1.5 books a month. I always kind of like to have one or keep one going. That doesn't always mean that I get to read every single day.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So you said you've been working at Oak Mountain for 21 years?
Mm-hmm.
What has it been like seeing the different counselors come into the counseling center and meeting new counselors, working with your current coworkers?
I have been so extremely lucky. because without exception, I have worked with over the years with some of the most fantastic people, really committed professionals. I feel very blessed that we always get along, and that is so rare in a workplace. But the people that I've worked with, the thing that I love the most about my job is the camaraderie between me and the other counselors. And that has been the way it has been since day one, back in 1999. Well, wait a minute. I think 2000 was the first year that I worked at the high school. And that was the second year that the high school was open. And I mean, I can honestly say that some of my best friends have been the counselors that I've worked with over the years. And, I just have always found the guidance center to be my happy place, a place where I can come and get pumped up and rejuvenated and, feel welcome. So again, I've been extremely lucky.
Yes, I know every time I walk in there, you guys always have smiles on your faces or you're having some type of fun. So I could imagine.
Yes.
So you guys, as counselors, you work as one big team. What would you say is your job specifically as the secretary of the counseling center? And what is your day in the life?
A day in the life. I think that over these 21 years, I have always tried to make the counseling center more proactive, and that has never worked. We react to everything because, number one, our location in the school, we're so accessible to parents and teachers and students, and so it's just kind of a constant revolving door. So I think my main job is to kind of triage all that's coming at us and try to get it, going in the direction that it needs to go. And that's taken some practice, knowing what's an emergency, what can wait a couple of minutes, what can wait till the next day. But, all in all, I guess that's what I would say is my most important job. I want students to feel like the counseling center is a welcoming place. And so I really hope that, when you come in, that you do see a smile and, you do have somebody that's sitting there waiting to greet you and find out what you need.
Yeah, I can imagine, sorting different students out to everyone. You'd have to have great organization skills. Would you say you are really good with organizing?
I think I'm good. I don't know that I'm excellent, because I've been doing my job so long, Camilla. Sometimes I feel like I can do it with two hands tied behind my back. And I probably, I remember when I first started working, I was just so nervous and, wanting to do everything right. I'm a lot more laid back, and prepared, I guess, to take what's coming in at me all the time.
Nice. So what do you love most about being the secretary of the counseling center?
Well, okay, so let me tell you a little story. There was a student, a former student, that got a concussion, and he could not go to the lunchroom because of his concussion protocol, and there were certain classes that he couldn't be in, and so he spent a lot of time in the guidance center, like doing his work, like in one of our desks or one of those round tables. And especially during lunch, he ate lunch, in our office. And one day, this was after, a couple of weeks of doing this, he said, "Miss Huff, is your job just to talk to people?" And I said, "Yeah, pretty much. That's what I do. I talk to people all day long." And so that is, especially when I'm not buried in a mound of work, I like to be able to talk to people and, find out about them and interact with them. Now, sometimes when work gets really heavy, like right around graduation time, I might seem a little distracted and, maybe not as, into what's going on. But usually, that's,
You're back.
it could be my connection as well because I'm upstairs. I'm upstairs.
Yeah, I think we're good now. So, last question.
Okay, good.
If you were not the secretary of the counseling center, what job do you think you would be in right now?
That's a great question. And I love school. And I am a nurse by my education. I have a baccalaureate degree. And that's what I did the first part of my adult life. But I think if I had to do it over again, because I love school so much, I think I'd be at some level.
Mm-hmm. And I said that was going to be the last question, but I'm really interested in hearing about your experience with nursing. Okay. What was that like?
It's a high pressure job because it's life and death. And it's you're extremely it's like bam, bam, bam all the time. I worked in a cardiac unit at the beginning, and I also worked in a kind of like a ICU for babies as well. And stressful, very stressful. Can be very rewarding. I basically quit when my children started coming along because all I ever really wanted to do was to be a good mother. And I just felt like I gave everything at work. I gave my whole self to my work when I was in nursing. And I thought, will I have anything else to give to my children when I get home? And so for several years, until they were back in school, I did not work outside the home. I was a full-time mother.
That's cool. I could imagine transitioning from the stressful hospital environment to, the happy counseling center.
Yes.
I'm sure it was amazing.
It was, and I wanted to be on my children's schedule. That was very important to me when they were coming up through school, is to be on their same schedule. So this was a great job to have in that regard.
That's cool. I'm sure your children are very lucky to have you as a mother.
Thank you.
Well, Ms. Huff, thank you.
I hope they think so.
Well, Ms. Huff, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time out of your day to come and talk to me. I hope you enjoyed the interview.
You're very welcome.
All right. Have a nice day. Bye. And that was Miss Leigh Huff. If you see her in the hallways or even in the counseling center, be sure to say hi. Also, be sure to follow us on all of our social medias. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Oak MTM Media. And for Oak Media, I'm Camilla Augustus.